Joe Rogan and Conor McGregor speak on Islam Makhachev vs. Volkanovski. Islam Makhachev's big match against Alexander Volkanovski is right around the corner, and Conor McGregor has a lot to say about it. Joe Rogan recently had Conor McGregor on his podcast, and they got into many great topics. But the most interesting one had to be Conor McGregor's prediction on Islam Makhachev vs. Volkanovski. Obviously, we all know about the old rivalry between Conor McGregor and Islam Makhachev's head coach, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Well, by the looks of Conor's opinion on Makhachev, it looks like he still holds some of those feelings towards Khabib Nurmagomedov. If you remember how the end of the match between Khabib and Conor McGregor played out, then you probably know why Conor McGregor still hates the Dagestani guys. Well, he makes it very clear during his podcast with Joe Rogan, and it is hilarious. It's kind of hard to remember, but at the end of the Khabib vs. Conor McGregor match, a huge brawl took place. Basically, Khabib lost control and attacked Conor McGregor's team, which then led to Khabib and Conor's teammates getting involved in the brawl. Well, there was one guy that stood out very much, and that was the guy that jumped into the octagon and sucker punched Conor McGregor after his loss. The crazy thing about all that is the guy who did that to Conor McGregor was Islam Makhachev, who at the time was one of Khabib's cornermen. So obviously Conor McGregor and Islam Makhachev have a history together that isn't very pleasant, and that may have a little to do with his biased opinion about Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. Many people have been waiting for Conor McGregor to make an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, and the time has finally arrived. This is one of the most interesting Joe Rogan podcasts I've seen in a long time, and I'm glad they linked up together. You're probably wondering exactly what Conor McGregor had to say about Islam Makhachev, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. There's obviously so much more to get into with all that's going on in the UFC, but we'll mainly be getting into Joe Rogan and Conor McGregor speak on Islam Makhachev vs. Volkanovski. Be sure to stick around and watch this video until the end as we get into things one detail at a time. Trust me when I say you won't want to miss a thing. Thanks for stopping by today and visiting us at Warrior Report. We post daily UFC updates and news that you really should know about if you're a fan. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this, leave a like, and comment keyword McGregor to enter a chance at winning our brand new iPhone giveaway. One lucky viewer is picked at the end of each month. Now, let's jump into this video and take a closer look at Joe Rogan and Conor McGregor speak on Makhachev vs. Volkanovski. Obviously, there's been a bunch of hype built around the Islam Makhachev vs. Alexander Volkanovski match, being the first insane matchup we're receiving this year. But most of the hype has really been built around Islam Makhachev, and one of the people that doesn't respect that at all is the man himself, Conor McGregor. Obviously, during his last match, Islam Makhachev proved his dominance in the UFC, literally manhandling and submitting the GOAT Charles the Bronx Oliveira. But by the looks of Conor McGregor's opinion on Islam Makhachev, he seems to care nothing about that and actually calls out Islam. Joe Rogan never expected things to go there, but during his podcast with Conor McGregor, McGregor gets pretty deep about Islam Makhachev and shows how much he actually truly doesn't like him at all. All I know is by the looks of it, Conor McGregor vs. Islam Makhachev could definitely be a match that we see in the future, and that would be out of this world. Conor McGregor obviously shows his hate towards Islam Makhachev, but that's not all he does during this podcast. He also speaks a lot about the pound-for-pound champ himself, Alexander Volkanovski. And to no one's surprise, of course, Conor had nothing good to say about him. Alexander Volkanovski is easily considered to be one of the most well-rounded martial artists that the UFC has ever seen. Yes, he's going up against a viral sensation like Islam Makhachev, so it takes some of the shine away from him, but you gotta remember, Alexander Volkanovski is the pound-for-pound champion of the UFC, and he's managed to defend that title time and time again without fail. Volkanovski vs. Islam Makhachev will be one of the best matches we received in a long time, and I'm beyond excited for it. Islam Makhachev has been located in his hometown in Russia and training hard for this match, and Volkanovski has been located on the other side of the world in Thailand. These guys are both tremendous athletes, and it'll be shocking to see how it plays out at the end of the night. Both guys want that pound-for-pound title more than ever, but only one of them can walk away with it, and that's a fact. The UFC has definitely shocked everyone with this matchup, and it'll be crazy to see what happens once February 11th comes around. It's said by the UFC president Dana White that 2023 will be the best year that the UFC has seen yet.